we've finished decorating our jewelry piece, and we have removed the wax off the sides with our hobby knife, and we put 5 coats of the Mod Podge on, the Dimensional Magic, and it is dry. We're going to come in with our black acrylic paint and just paint the sides and the back all nice and neat. And if you get any of the paint up here, just wipe it off because you've already got your sealer on, so that'll just wipe off. Now make sure if you've used your Dimensional Magic, it's been 3 hours and that it's nice and dry. We don't want that wet and your fingerprints in there. And we're going to talk some more about different things that you can use other than what I am using. In this, I'm going to use the basic black suede strip, and the reason I use black in the backgrounds is it's a fade color, so the design and the piece stands out and the sides don't distract from your design or the front part. So that is a reason that I use the black. Now there's lots of other colors that you could use and decide that you would rather do instead of the black, like on the red flower. Paint the sides red and then put your red leather piece over that to bring out the red in the flower. That's fine. You have all kinds of things. This is some little silk pieces that I have found. You could put those around there. I've used some. I've turned them into a braid. You could put a braided piece around there to bring that out. It's all kinds of different stuff. I found some little tiny Hawaiian beads that I thought if you had the right piece, those would look fun. But you've got all kinds of thread and yarn and just different accents that you can use. Don't get stuck on just what I'm showing you today. I always tell you to think outside the box. We'll think outside the gourd piece here. I have some silver wire that you could use, as well as some stained glass siding that's sticky that you could put on the sides. So there's all kinds of things that you could do with it. One of my favorites for this piece was a braided suede piece around that, and how neat that makes that look. But like I said, we're going to stick with the black basic for now because it helps the pattern stand out in the background. And if you've done the beading video, there is one thing that we're going to do different, and we're going to move the suede piece towards the front so it's flush with the front of our piece. So we have painted in black. It's nice and dry. I'm going to put a tad of tacky glue on to start it. And on this one, I'm going to decide where my top of my gourd piece is going to be, and I'm going to start and finish there. And that is so I can also get my eye screw in between those two pieces. Now I'm going to set it down flush. I'm going to use an awl, and I'm going to stick that awl right in the middle of that piece on the end. And with the awl, you want it to go about 1/4 of an inch down because the sequin pins that we're going to be using are 1/2 inch. Throw a couple of those out there. And if you do it right, you should only need 2 of these. And some gourd pieces are tougher than others, and some are softer. And this guy is going to be a booger. He is nice and hard. So let's see. And I leave my finger right there, so hopefully I can kind of have an idea where that hole is, and I can sink my nail into that hole without it being too hard. Try moving him just a tad here because he is not playing with me today. There we go. And I have tried all different ways to do this with the hammer and all kinds of things, and the awl is the easiest way. You only want to put it halfway down so your sequin can push in halfway so it holds nice and secure. You don't want to push it all the way, otherwise your sequin won't have anything to push into. Now, instead of hammering or anything, I found it was just easier to push the pin straight in, and if it bends, take your pliers and pull it out. You don't want to go any further. And you want to make sure that this pin is not going towards the front. You don't want it to go through your design. You'd rather it go down or towards the back. If it comes through anywhere, you'd rather it came through the back. We're going to try one more time. Nice and slow, just pushing that straight in. This is a hard gourd. And it's kind of nice so you know that it happens to me as well. So we're going to leave this one in here. Try it one more time with my awl. Push that straight down. Don't let it go to the side. The thimble is important. It's a non-slip thimble so that you cannot slip around, and that really helps out. Okay, so we finally got that guy in there. And I like to leave that in there because if I have problems, you're going to have problems once in a while. And we don't want to have this too messy. We don't want it on top of our leather because we're not covering up our leather. Our leather is our final piece. We'll bring that all the way around. And when I lay my tacky glue down, I always have it on the side instead of straight up and down so I don't have to shake it and get that air bubble out before I grab it. So we're just going to put this on, and we wanted it flush with the front, so I'm just kind of moving that around. And we're going to bump up right up next to this. We're going to put, you're not going over the top of it, but you're going right next to where we did the first one. And we're going to see if this guy will go in a little bit easier. Push him in nice and slow, straight up and down. This one's been a booger. And if he bends, we know we're going to pull. I'm going to grab my pliers here. And so we're going to pull this guy out. And that's why we put extra pins in your kit. And usually I do not have this hard of a time. This is just a tougher piece, just like you have soft gourds and hard gourds. It's the same thing with this. I'm going to try to put the hole in again a little bit further down. But like I said, it's a good thing to do these on these videos because then you know when you do it, you're not thinking how easy it was. And usually it goes in much easier. I usually do not have this hard of a time at all. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim this off. You still want the two pieces kind of meeting right there. Okay. And remove any of this glue from the front. You do not want any of this showing. Kind of make sure it's on the edge. And what this does is just frames your piece that much nicer. Now where these two pieces touched, I'm actually going to come in between those two and I'll punch another hole. And actually I'm going to punch this one because it's thicker right behind it. But if it's not thicker, it's thinner, just put it right down the middle of your piece right there. Because when you go to turn it, your pieces are broken right there, so you're not turning them as much. So we're going to put our awl in there again. And we're going to twist on our screw eye. This is the smallest ones you can find. I think this is like a 7/16. It'll be in your kits. So now we have that on. And I drop my necklace. And we're going to put our jump ring on. And I'm going to open the jump ring up. I'm going to put it through the necklace. Decide which way your clasp goes on your necklace so that you have that the right direction. And then put your pendant part on. And then you're going to squeeze it shut. And you want no space between that. Now, it's a bigger... You don't have to worry about exactly, but you never want, when you're working with jump rings, you never want them coming off, so you want to make sure they're nice and tight. So we want those meeting. And you can also squish them on there too, so that you know that they're nice and tight and right where they meet. And then we have our necklace. Now, if you notice, the screw eye is facing this direction so that your jump ring is facing this direction. Now, if you have any glue or stuff on the back like this, go back over and paint that up, touch that up with your black acrylic paint. And you can also add part of a back on there. You can cut out the size of your circle and put a piece of material or leather on there, just so that it's a little bit smoother on your necklace. If your skin, if you happen to be wearing it above your clothing. And if you like the piece with the beading on, we also have the beading technique, and that is on the Miriam Joy website, and that just really makes all of your stuff stand out. And there is a great video on how to do that step by step. And so we're just adding all kinds of dimension to your jewelry, and it's amazing just what Crayola crayon can do and how fantastic it looks. Nobody's going to believe that these are actually crayons. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed this. Please know that you can play the video into YouTube again and again. You're not limited to one time, and that there also are kits for each one of these. Hopefully, if you don't see anything up online, email me at art@miriamjoy.com, or if you have any questions. And for any of the other projects, just visit my website at miriamjoy.com. Thank you. God bless and have fun.